Okay, so this is Jeremy, JP, and our good friend Mark. We're out on Nonsuch Island on the 25th of February, and we are looking at the first of the hatched cahal chicks on Nonsuch Island at this time. I was thinking before we came out there should be at least by now 5 or 6 chicks hatched, and this is one of the first ones, and this is probably the oldest one. This chick might be as old as a week old, maybe 7 or 8 days. It's been about 9 or 10 days since I've been able to get out on Nonsuch last. I've been concentrating on some of the other offshore nesting islands, and so this is a lovely one, and I'm glad because this is the first time this pair has produced a chick in about 3 years. It failed the last 2 years. The egg was broken in one case, and turned out I think the embryo died in the egg in the second case. So I'm going to take a look and weigh him and measure his wing core. Oh yeah, and his noticeably that's not a newly hatched chick. That's yeah, that's at least you know, I would say probably 9 or 10 day old chick, you know, there. I'll be able to tell a little bit better when I measure his wing cord. Oh, and it's having a good little yawn. Yeah, I think these guys are mostly sleeping during the day, particularly if they've been fed anytime recently. And, you know, when you reach in and take them out, he wakes them up, and they often quite quickly give a few little yawns. Now, he does have his egg tooth still on the end of his bill. A little, oh, there's a yawn. Yeah, little tiny white, like almost like horn on there. And so he's probably less than 10 days, but he certainly looks older than a week. So I'd say about, you know, 8 to 9 days would be about the right age for this guy. And that would fit in almost perfectly with my last check. So I'm going to take a look and see how much he weighs. It doesn't feel like he was fed last night because he doesn't have that water balloon feel to him. But he's considerably bigger than I would have expected, I must confess. Oh yeah. He's almost 100 grams already. Let's see, 112, so that will be 92 grams. Yeah. So growing well. That's really good. And let's take a look at his wing cord. Yeah, it's funny when they get really big, or when they've just been fed, they get so fat that they can roll out of the weighing bag if you're not careful. Like a little fuzzy bowling ball almost. Okay, so I want them to get comfortable. Let's find the wing is just a tiny little bud at this point. And it's hard to believe that this one right now is at, let's see, 26 millimeter. And in about another 12 weeks or so, it'll be about 275 millimeter. So it's got all of that growing to do. Yeah, it's amazing. So 26 millimeter. It's bigger than I would have expected. Yeah, so he looks in good shape. I'm just going to take a look at his underside. Yeah, it's got the little bit of white belly down there, or chest down, you know, that'll reflect the adult plumage. And yeah, he's looking really good. Really good. So I'm going to put him back in. I'm very, very happy for that pair because, like I said, they've lost 2 eggs in a row the last 2 seasons, so it's about time that they got the chance to raise another bouncing baby chickie. Yeah, and I think we heard some other chicks calling from some of the other nests just down the hill, so we'll take a look at a few more, I think. I think we got time for that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let's take a look. Okay. So this is the first of the concrete nests, you know, which all of them are from this point on. And these are definitely the preferred type of nests for cahals. If you have a selection of 3 different types to 2 different types of plastic nests and this, you can guarantee not only will these be the first ones that Cahals prospecting new young pairs will snap up, but sometimes if you don't build them quickly enough, they'll actually take over the nest before you're finished building them. And this nest and the next one down, because of one thing after another, I started building them very late. You have to build them in stages, to nest chamber first, and then the first half of the entrance tunnel, and then the last half and the big entrance lid that covers the nest chamber last. And basically I had done the nest chamber and the first half of the entrance tunnel for both of these, and I just had like a plastic sheet over there waiting for the nest chamber to completely harden. You know, you have to wait at least a week so it can load bear that, and then you just put a ring of cardboard around and then just, you know, over the plastic sheet, and then put the concrete in. And when I went to check, there were pairs of Cahals in both of them. So they actually, one of them was successful, this one, and I had to let them go through the whole nesting season under a piece of plastic weighed down by a little bit of sand, a sandbag or something like that. It was crazy, you know. They were so keen to get in. And the interesting thing was the male bird that came from here turned out to be a rehabilitated bird. It was a bird I rescued from one of the nests on Horn Rock that was abandoned prematurely by the parents. So I had to actually bring it here, put it into an empty nest, and take over as the surrogate parent for it, and just give it supplemental feedings. And it was a runt. It had been underfed its entire life. It wasn't a bird I put a high survival likelihood on. And it is smaller than average for a male Cahal, but he not only returned, but he is now nested for 12 or 13 years. And he's had 2 mates. He's outlived his first mate, which he produced 7 chicks with, and he's attracted a second mate that in 3 years has had 2 chicks with. So, you know, it just goes to show it's worth rehabilitating every chick. When you have a critically endangered species, every single chick counts, because you just can't predict which are going to be the really successful breeders or not. So let's take a look. Ah, okay. Well, it isn't this nest, because this nest has failed and there's nothing in it, no birds, and just egg fragments. Ah, that's a shame. Well, they're not going to be successful this year, so it must be from either this nest or 820 or 821 that we heard the other chick. Yeah, this failed. I thought this was, oh, you know what? On the last check, the pair was together in there. And usually that's either a sign that you've interrupted them during a incubation handover. Sometimes the male will stay with the female or vice versa. Or it might mean that it's failed and they come in and there's no egg left to pass over to the partner. And all there are a few fragments. Well, but it'd be a good thing for you to come in. You can see how much deeper and how thick the concrete has to be. Oh, wow, yeah. These are well made, and we designed them to put on, like that's one of the nesting islands there that in a hurricane is actually completely overswept by 10-meter waves sometimes. Highest point in that island is about 7 or 8 meters. And so we have to make it out of concrete, and it can be up to anywhere from 650 to 850 pounds of concrete to make one artificial concrete nest. So it's incredibly labor intensive, but they're designed to last for a century. I mean, the worst that might happen on those islands is this might get swept overboard. You just clean out the debris and make a new one, and the nest will stay and the pair won't be disrupted. But here, that's not even an issue. You know, we built them up here high enough to be above the reach of waves from anyone.
They would scoop out nests out of the limestone, or they'd look for natural crevices?
Normally they would either take advantage of deep rock crevices, or they would excavate soil burrows, often under the roots of forest trees, or where a tree was partially uprooted. They'll burrow under the roots there. But a pair working, and there have been several now that are doing that at the other one, and there's even 1 or 2 up under the forest here. But it takes a pair working together anywhere up to 3 years to dig a burrow deep enough for them to actually start nesting. So they don't start nesting until the 4th or 5th year after doing it. So they've lost an appreciable chunk of their breeding lifespan just creating. And then the soil burrows can on average last about 6 to 8 years, and then a big heavy rainfall can just collapse them because the soil is sandy, unless they've built it under a tree or something where the roots help hold the roof together. So we figured, as long as we're able to, we'll keep making these artificials, because once they're done, these are designed to last 50 to 100 years. And, that way the birds, literally the very first year they get together, they can start breeding successfully, and they don't lose that chunk of half a decade or so in just making the nest and, getting everything working. All right, well, sorry to see that one failed, but we're doing pretty good considering. Only 2 failures so far, so.
Yeah, it's had, somebody scooped sand out of it recently though.
Yeah, the parents will still come, and they'll often, when you see a lot of activity, that's a sign it's failed without even looking in, because normally they're so harried and they're just feeding the chick. So they literally come in, spend an hour or two with the chick, feed it, and then they're right back out to sea. But when there's a lot of excavation happening, then they've got time in their hands. So I think what I'll do is I'll go up here, because one of these has a chick in it. I'll do this one next, 821. This was the nest of our infamous philanderer from last year, that basically was having an affair with the Cahal 2 bird down there, until he got thoroughly beaten up by her mate, Samson. Yep, we have a chick. Yeah, he looks good. Yeah, I thought, because this was a fairly early egg this year, because there wasn't all of the mix-up of last year, in that this pair last year actually got kicked out of the nest by a prospecting pair. Oh, look at that, trapjaw ants. Trapjaw ants right here. Yeah, don't want too many of them getting in there, because they have a pretty nasty sting. They're not dangerous, but they hurt like a wasp sting almost. So you don't want them going in the nest with the chick. But they're small colonies, and they tend to rove around. They're never in the same place for more than a year. Yeah, I had a little bit. He's been fed recently. Yeah, he looks.
This is Phil the Philanderer's chick.
What's that?
This is Phil the Philanderer's chick.
Yes, Phil the Philanderer's chick. Yeah, that's right. And I'm glad to see that now that this year we haven't had the issues with them being evicted from their own nest. They've returned this pair to their proper nest, and once again they've produced a very nice little chick, and they're a very good nesting pair. They're very successful. I believe they've been nesting there for about 10 years, 9 or 10 years, and they've produced about 6 or 7 chicks in that time. So it's about a 70%-ish breeding success rate. Very quiet little guy. Yeah, they're all different. Now I said that as soon as you put them in, right into the bag monster. I guess to them it feels like they're being ingested, in a way. But after you've done this the first couple of times, they very quickly realize that they're not in danger. They calm to the point ridiculous. They'll go to sleep in your hand while you're working with them, or they'll tuck their head under, their wing, and no problem. So they really get used to it. They preen themselves while you're doing that. Yeah, his good weight too is 90 grams exact, so that'll be 70 grams. And let's take a look at his wing cord, and then I can get a good estimate.
When do you ring them?
I will ring them generally when they're about 65 days old, just over 2 months. When their wing cord reaches around about 180 to 190 mil. They don't fledge until they're about 270 mil, so they still have a good month or so of growing to do. But at that point, their legs are as big as they'll ever be, because one thing I found out was that the legs are the first part of the chick to reach adult dimensions, you know, and they do that within, you know, by the time they're 2/3 fledged. It's actually bigger than an adult will be because they have more like baby fat, you know, fat reserves still in there. So 22.5, so it's not that old, 22.5. So I'd say about 5 days maybe. Yeah, less than a week anyway. Yeah, still got his little egg tooth as well. I think all of them do. All the ones we've looked at so far. Feeling sun for the first time.
Yeah.
Bet that feels good,
That's
huh?
a bit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit worried about those trapjaw ants being there, but they generally leave them alone, and it seems to be on the outside of the nest.
Yeah, they also seem.
Yeah, under the bay grape leaves, yeah.
Take the big grapes out so they have less cover.
Yeah.
They might want to go away.
Exactly.
Sorry,
That was my sense as well.
Yep, yep. Yeah,
You're making a little nest.
it's actually the first colony I've seen in the A colony, because they've always been at the B colony. But they've never seemed to cause a problem with the birds, even very young chicks. They tend, you know, they're completely adapted on insect prey, you know, like pill bugs and things like that. Yeah, you can see the hatched egg show.
This is such an out of normal experience thing that they don't treat it as I'm going to run away now.
Yeah. Oh my gracious.
I would.
She's actually gone into the tunnel. His hatched today. Look at that.
Wow.
He's still not fully fluffed
He's not
out.
wet yet. Yeah, he's still.
Yeah. This is actually a great time. Yawning. See, eyes are not fully open yet. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this very quick. I just want to get this. This is a perfect thing because she wouldn't have fed it yet. So
This is hatch weight.
this is hatch weight. Yeah. It was an unusually big egg. This egg was like 62 grams, you know. So yeah, at my last check just about a week and a half ago. So I think this will be an unusually heavy chick as well. Let's see, 67. Yeah, so that'll be 47 grams. Yeah, that is very high for a newly hatched chick.
It's a good transformation of egg to chick.
Yeah. Okay, let's get you back in there, and I want to get the adult back in there to brood it, because they'll normally see all the little hairs are just bursting open with the down. Yeah. So this bird is like just an hour or two old, 1 to 3 hours old, because normally by 4 hours they're totally fluffed out by then.
Which is what we all learn from the cameras, which is great.
What's that?
Which is what we're able to learn from the cameras.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to put him back.
Right, because you've got cameras on the nest. Filming continuously.
Yeah, for two of them. Right, I'm just going to...
Well done.
I'm not going to try and get her or him out, because I don't want to upset him too much. His back there on the chicka gang, so I'm just going to leave him alone. So, yeah, that is fantastic. But you have not hatched yet, but you are ready. I wonder if this is the female, because yeah, I think this is the male. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, it's quite light actually. So this is either the female or the male that's been on for a long time. So that's 280 grams. If it's the male, it's E0243. So if it's anything else, it's the female. And he'd have had me already. He bites like a demon. He's a yeah. This is definitely not him.
He knows you.
Because he's a big bird too. Yeah, great. This is the first time I've had her in hand. So that's a new one for my sheet. E0487. Yeah, still the same female. Yeah, this is one of the ones that occupied the nest when I was still building it. E0487.
I love the personal relationship.
Yeah, well,
It's very, I mean, it's,
well, I know the first generation any. I know I raised them all,
Yeah.
you know, when you translocated them, I raised them all by hand. And so I know all of their stories, you know, because we had nearly 50% that returned, which was phenomenal. Because even with the naturally raised ones, raised by their parents, it's normally about a third of them return. You know, it's 28 to 38%. You know, it's a 33% right is the mean. But what I figured was that, well, the parents normally ease off on the feedings or stop feeding them a good week or two before, and that's that final slim down. But if I tweaked it a bit and fed them right up to departure, they could leave, you know, another, you know, 30 to 40 grams heavier than normal, and that should give them nearly a week of extra foraging ability before they run out of fat reserves and they become fish food then at that point, because it's a steep learning curve. They're on their own. They have to learn where the food is, when to get it, how to get it, and everything else. And I think that most of the chicks that don't make it die in the first couple of weeks they're at sea, because they only have normal food reserves for maybe, you know, 5 to 8 days of foraging before.
It's an amazing thing to think about, isn't
So
it?
it's a very tight margin, you know.
Human children, we spend,
Yeah.
you know, well, actually, human children, when do we stop being children?
Well, exactly.
We spend, you know, nearly 20 years getting our young people
Yeah.
ready to be adults.
Yeah.
And they're probably, I mean, even, you know,
Hey, my children are older than that, and they're still pretty dependent.
Thinking about them being let loose to forage in the
Here we
wild
go.
and
Yes.
inventing,
Yes.
because this bird, when
Yeah.
it was hatched, invented how to fish.
That's right.
I mean, nobody taught it.
Yeah. Yeah, it had
Invented
to.
it from nothing.
It. I think they have a bit of an instinctual
They
thing
must
to,
do.
to head in a certain direction, you know, to the northeast to get into that cool water. But then after that, it's up to them to figure it
Yeah, they
out,
have
you
to-
know.
They have to know that shadow under the waves is something that-
Absolutely, yeah. And they have to know, okay, at
How
night.
to code that in.
Yeah, and we know now that they mainly feed at night. Yeah, look at that. That egg is pipping already, I think. You can actually see the chick moving in there, in the egg. It's got a huge air cell too. I think it's got pips in it, so I'm going to check in a bit. I'm going to take it out. If you want to take a quick look in.
Oh yeah, hello bird.
Oh yeah, you heard the chirp?
Yeah,
It's chirping. It's chirping inside. Yeah.
Yeah, and this
Let me
one
take
chirped
that.
back.
Yeah. Oh, that was the adult. Yeah. Sometimes they will do that. Yeah. Let me just see. Oh God. Yeah. Look at all the pips in it. This one's well advanced into hatching. This evening. Yeah. Or
Don't worry, we'll let you go
tomorrow
soon,
at the
bird.
latest. Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty good sized egg
You're
actually.
okay with it, I think.
Okay. So that 74. So that's 54. Yeah. Good. Oh yeah, I can feel it moving in there. It's definitely on its way out. But see, that's a regular size cahao egg, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, it's chirping away in there and moving too.
Yeah.
So let me get him right back. That's good. Mommy will be with it. Let mommy dearest. Okay. And so the entrance there. Great. Thanks, Mark. Here we go, my dear. Head back to your hatching chick. Yep. Oh, that is great. That is great. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 chicks just from looking at about. Is it 7?
No, 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back through my notes. Yeah, that's right, because I forgot that one too. So yeah, I mean, we've only looked at about a third or less of the nests in this one colony. So yeah, so that's a good indication. There's probably over a dozen chicks hatched at this point. So I'm going to definitely try. I can't come out tomorrow, but maybe on Friday I'll come out and do that. Fantastic. So better results than I think we dared hope. and some, you know, there's been a couple of disappointments and such, but there's also been some pleasant surprises. Some pairs I didn't think were going to hatch a chick successfully have. Let's hope the chick survives. If the chick can survive the first 2 weeks, you do get some that don't make it, but if they survive past 2 weeks, generally they're home free. They're going to make it right through to fledging. The loss rate is very, very low after that. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. And Cahal Cam 2 is not going to be even thinking about hatching, because that was one of the very last eggs to be laid. So I don't expect that to hatch until somewhere around about the 14th or 15th of March, to be honest, at least another 2.5 weeks from now. So, but yeah, everything's looking great, and we'll continue to monitor, and we'll continue to update everybody on what we're finding as we move into what, for me anyway, is one of the most exciting parts of the whole Cahal nesting season. So from Mark, JP, and myself, you know, from Nonsuch Island, Bermuda, thanks for watching, and everybody have a great afternoon, and all the best.
I'm going to say something embarrassing if you want.
There are people who are heroes on this planet, and you know, there are 1.7 million species. Many are endangered.
Yes,
all of them
indeed.
are actually under threat, and,
Yeah.
and we need more heroes. And
Well,
you're a hero.
Thank you very much, Mark.
You know, it really is astounding.
Very
If only-
kind words coming from you. So
If
yeah.
only every species.
Yeah, well, I look at it as
As you.
it's a privilege to work
Yeah.
with such a iconic and endangered species, and a real part of Bermuda's natural heritage and the Earth's heritage as well. You know, it's going to be up to us to save these species, because you know, it's not getting easier for them on the planet now, mainly due to our influence. So all the best from everybody. That's great.